Hello babes and welcome to today's video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this sexy drag queen champagne kind of inspired makeup look. You know what champagne is bubbly, it has little bubbles, and when it's like got bubbles it's like sparkly, and if you look at me I'm like, wow, you're normal, but then you look at me and I'm like, oh, she's sparkly. So that's kind of why I'm calling it like the champagne kind of look, but I'm also still saying it's like my sexy drag queen makeup look. So I had a really fun time doing this look. I am really excited to show you guys how I did this, and if you guys want to recreate it, you can if you just keep on watching, and I will take you through the steps necessary to look like a sexy drag queen. So let's get started. So I'm gonna start from this point of my makeup, and if you're like me, you're gonna have a little glass of wine, to help you calm down and do this, because you know what, makeup is stressful, but not the whole thing, because we need to be like coherent for us to like do the makeup. So I'm gonna start from this point in my makeup. I'm gonna go over the products that I used on my face. The first is this Fenty foundation. The next one is for my highlight, and I used the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Fair Neutral, and I put this mainly here on my face and also right on my forehead. I'm trying out the LA Girl Pro Conceal HD High Definition Concealer. That's a long name. I'm going with shade Fairest, and I'm putting that underneath my eyebrows just so I can get a very light kind of gradient that goes on my eye. I normally put a white eyeshadow, but I feel like this just saves a lot of time because you have to keep on stacking the eyeshadow and it just doesn't work out. And honestly, this concealer is pretty good, but it's a little light for me, so that's why I ended up using it on my eyebrows. But with that all out of the way, we're gonna start working on my eyes. So I always gotta say, be careful with what you wash your brushes, because I got this really cheap brush scrubber thing, and honestly it destroyed my brush, and now I'm like scared to use her because she literally looks like she's about to die. So I'm gonna go into the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I'm gonna go into the shade called Georgia, which is this nice cute peach color. Georgia peaches. Oh, so smart and creative. I'm gonna go into the R39 brush and just dip in. And now I'm going to blend this out where I believe my faux crease is gonna be. Usually I go along my orbital bone. So I'm gonna start to blend out the white eyeshadow that's on my eye. To do that, I'm gonna go back into the Sweet Peach palette, but I'm gonna go into a shade called Peaches and Cream, and I'm gonna put this right on the white just so it kind of glues itself together, so that way you don't have anything wet on your face, because obviously that is a bad thing to do because you can make a mess really quick. Also, I'm just going on this flat brush. I don't know where I got it. I just got it off of Amazon a long time ago, so I have no name for it, and it has no name. So yeah, just a flat brush. So now it makes the highlight on my eye look a little bit more subtle, so I'm going to now just continue blending out my crease. I'm gonna go into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette, and I'm gonna go into the shade Orange Soda. And I'm gonna go on the same R39 brush and just kind of blend out my crease once again. I'm honestly loving how this looks, so I'm just gonna start to darken the crease a little bit more. So I'm gonna add another shade from this palette. I'm gonna go into the shade Burnt Orange and kind of darken it a little bit. Once again, I'm going on literally the same brush, R39, same thing, doing everything the same, just different shade. In the same palette, I'm gonna go into the shade called Rustic, and I'm gonna put this once again on my crease. So this time I'm gonna be going into the R35 brush. I know we switching it up, doing something different. Versatile queen, we love it. I'm verse, but not really. And finally, I'm gonna lay down the shade called Cypress Umber right on my crease, just to get a final dark moment in my crease, so that way I can make it really defined and make it look like it has depth. I'm saying like big words, like bitch, I should've gotten a fucking like really high score at SAT. Fun fact, I literally straight up failed the English portion of the SAT. I mean, it's not fun for me, but like, just know that if you think you did bad, I probably did worse. once again, taking out an R35 brush and just going to blend it out. Now that the eye is mostly done, the first thing I'm gonna do is literally take a little, you know, you gotta celebrate. Ooh. 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 So, controversial palette alert, I'm gonna start working on my face, and to do that, I'm going to go into the Kat Von D Shade to Light Contour Palette. So basically, I got this palette a long time ago before this whole thing happened. Ignore me holding this palette, I just need a big mirror, and I don't own one. I'm gonna go into this shade first, and then after I use this shade, I'm gonna do the very, very, very back corners of my face, primarily right at the ends of my cheeks, my temples, and my jawline in this shade right here, which is very, 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 very dark. But you know, we are a drag queen, we gotta be intense, we gotta be crazy. I mean, you don't have to be intense and be crazy, but the drag that I'm doing is very intense, very crazy, so yeah. Drag is about doing it the way you wanna do it, so do it however you wanna do it. Don't let me tell you what to do, because you know, that's kind of what drag is about, not letting anyone tell you what to do. That was good. That was a good tongue pop and a good speech. Bitch, I'm inspirational or something shit. So I am now going to highlight, and to highlight, I'm gonna do two different kind of highlights. So the first highlight I'm gonna create by baking my face. So I'm gonna be using the Cover FX, I believe it's translucent light. Yes, translucent light setting powder. And I'm just gonna put this underneath my jawline just so I can get that kind of sharp jaw that all the drag queens usually have. And then more for the center of my face, I'm gonna start to use this highlight here on the Kat Von D Shade to Light palette for the face. And I'm gonna use this really small brush that I found. Any brush works. I just personally like using this one. I want my contour to be a little bit more warmer because after all, I am doing like a warm champagne kind of eye look. So I'm gonna go into the Too Faced Sweetie Pie bronzer. As you can see, it's really cute. It's got some pink in there, it's got some brown, it's very warm toned, even has shimmer, which I'm like, ooh, don't know how I feel about that, but you know what, we're gonna give it a try because why not? I'm going to use this on whatever fluffy brush you have, and I'm just gonna put this on my cheeks and the top of my face. I feel like we've let my cheeks kind of cook for long enough, so I'm gonna take her out of the oven. I'm gonna go into this big fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna like swipe everything off. And then hopefully I'll be really snatched and really cute, and if not, I'm just gonna scream. I mean, I don't look bad. I don't look bad. I look a little crazy, but that's how I look. I just look a little bit crazy. Oh my god, I almost dropped this palette. So I'm gonna warm my face up. Obviously, I'm going to be using some blush, but sadly, I do not have a warm tone blush. I don't know where I put it. I think I let my friend borrow it, and I don't think I got it back. I'm gonna go into the Sugar Pill Pro palette, and I'm gonna go into this shade right here called Flamethrower, and I'm gonna put this on my Daiso brush and hopefully pray that I don't look crazy. I'm honestly loving how that kind of looks, but I also want to make my blush a little bit more intense because you know we use a lot of blush in this house. So I'm gonna go into the Tarte 24-hour, my bad. I'm going to the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-hour blush. I'm gonna go in the shade Risque. So I'm gonna take this on a Daiso brush and I'm gonna put this next to the orange that I put down, and I'm gonna blend it together and kind of make it look like a sunset, because who doesn't want a sunset on their face? So for the next part, we're gonna get a little bit more serious because I'm going to do my eyes. Basically, I'm gonna start using a lot of black, I'm gonna start using a lot of white, and here is where I can mess up my eyes. So we gotta be careful and take our time and do things slowly, or however fast you feel comfortable, and literally just try our best not to mess this up, because this is where everything could go downhill and you could literally destroy your hours of work. With that being said, let's get started. First step is just to get whatever sharp brush that you feel comfortable with. I usually use an Anastasia Beverly Hills angled brush. I'm also gonna go back into my Fenty foundation, so let's do this. I'm gonna bring you guys a little bit closer so you guys can see what I'm doing, because you deserve to see up close and personal, because, you know. So the first step is get your foundation and get your brush. Put your foundation on the brush. Wow, really easy. Now it's gonna be the little bit of a hard part. Get whatever mirror you like. I'm gonna use a really small one because it's a really small area. And what I'm just going to do is I'm gonna etch out your orbital bone and make a new lid. So I'm just gonna continue working on this eye just because my camera's about to die, so that way I can do this off camera and it'll be less stressful for me too. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to put these two down because you don't wanna use these weapons of destruction anymore. So I'm gonna be going into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Lamp palette once again. I'm gonna go into this shade called Orange Soda, and I'm gonna put this more toward the ends of my eye. And I'm gonna go on a flat brush, and yeah. Once that shadow has all been placed, I'm just gonna go in with my finger and I'm gonna go into the 25L palette right here. I love this packaging, it's so cute. Calm down. And I'm gonna go into the shade called Stonewall, and I'm gonna put this more toward the front part or the inner part of my lid. So I have a fat finger. And also, I like how this looked, but it's not giving me what I expected. Inside the pan, it looked a little bit more gold, but this is a little bit more champagne and silvery. So I'm gonna go into the shade called Healing, and I'm gonna actually take it on my finger once again, and I'm gonna put this in the middle where these two shades meet. So I'm gonna do this eye off camera, and when I come back, I will have my lashes on, I will have my eyeliner on, and I will have everything else done. And most likely we will continue up with the face and then make some finishing touches. So I'm gonna be right back. So I'm gonna start to work on my lips right now, and for that, I'm gonna go into the NYX Matte Lip Liner in the shade Whipped Caviar. I like to overline the top and the bottom of my lips, but not so much the bottom, but rather just the top, because I feel like my top lip is very small, and also I feel like it protrudes out, but yet there's no color where it protrudes out, so I just wanted to fix that. So for me personally, wherever it pushes forward is where I'm going to be lining, and that's really it. Now that that is all done, I'm gonna go into my lipstick, and for my lipstick, I'm gonna go into the Sugar Pill Liquid Lipstick in the shade Trinket. I love this shade. It's a very like mauve nude, but it also has a little bit of gold specks in it. So like when you catch the light, it really just has that ooh. And I feel like that's kind of like champagne, because you know, like it got little bubbles. So when you turn a little bit, my eyeshadow kind of has that little ooh. So I want to kind of give that to my lips. So I like how this looks, but there's just, it's not really getting that oof that I'm really feeling. So I'm gonna go into this lip gloss that I got from ColourPop. I don't know the name, don't know the shade, don't know anything about it, only for the reason that this is really old, so everything has just really worn off, which is not a good sign, but I'm still gonna use it anyways. And this is the finished look. Oh wait, I almost forgot one last thing. literally, how could I forget this? So I'm gonna go into the Glow Kit in the Sweets palette, and I'm going to go into the shade, I don't know, I'm probably gonna go into the shade called Butterscotch. It's this really nice goldeny shade, and I'm gonna put this on my cheeks. And I'm just gonna take it on a fan brush. It doesn't have a name, it is just a fan brush. Now we are finally done. This is the finished look. This is my beautiful champagne look. Honestly, I would just say it's a very like sexy drag queen. I feel very beautiful, and this is like one of my first time trying out these press-on nails. I don't really wear press-ons a lot just because I have nail gloves and I like using them because they're just so much easier to take on and off. But you know what? I'm not gonna be going to school for a little bit because school hasn't been in session. So I'm like, why not just try on these press-ons and hopefully see how these goes, because I don't need to write anything or like type anything recently. So I'm good. But I hope you are excited to be a sexy drag queen like me. And if you guys like this look, please make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't like it, it's probably because you don't like being sexy or you aren't sexy, so you're just jealous. Don't forget to go down to the links below where you guys can see links to all my other videos. There's always something fun down there, so just go check it out. I hate myself. And last but not least, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next video. Bye, baes.